CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest on the U.S. military operation capturing the leader of a sovereign foreign nation. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was arraigned in a New York courtroom today on charges including narco-terrorism. With more on those proceedings and the global reaction, here's Joy Malbin.
Dramatic images show Nicolas Maduro, who days ago was Venezuela's president, handcuffed and escorted by police officers. He and his wife Celia Flores charged in the U.S. with narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation, and weapons offenses. Maduro defiantly told the judge in Spanish, "I was captured at my home in Caracas, Venezuela. I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am still the president of my country." Maduro's lawyer attacked the U.S. military raid, the abduction and arrest, as many question, was this even legal? Demonstrators lining the courthouse. Some celebrated President Trump for bringing down a brutal dictator. Others pleaded no more war. At the UN Security Council, several nations condemned the Trump administration's military raid, calling it a breach of international law.
I remain deeply concerned that rules of international law have not been respected. The Charter enshrines the prohibition of the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
Still, President Trump's not backing down.
We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time.
Last night, insisting America will tap into Venezuela's rich oil supply, warning Maduro's acting President Delcy Rodriguez to cooperate or else.
If they don't behave, we will do a second strike.
And boldly issuing new threats against Mexico, Greenland, and Colombia.
Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long.
The White House claims its actions are justified and will brief lawmakers tonight. As for Maduro, he's claiming diplomatic immunity, and this will not be a swift trial. He's back in court March 17th. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
The reaction from Venezuelans living abroad has ranged widely after the whirlwind events of the last 3 days. Lauren Stallone spoke with a former Venezuelan resident who now calls London home.
Some Venezuelan Londoners are speaking out following the capture and removal of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro.
My reaction has gone through the biggest happiness to the biggest worries.
Local Londoner Margarita Sanchez Favreau says she has lived in Canada for 22 years, but will always care about her home country.
I don't think that Trump is doing that for the right reasons. I think that he's moved by power, by interest, even personal interest, not only the United States interest.
While Favreau is skeptical of Trump's motives, she says she is glad Maduro is no longer in power.
Been more than 26 years with this dictatorship. We're desperate to finish this.
Local Venezuelans say the coming days will be difficult. Although they're hopeful positive change is on the way, they say the looming uncertainty makes it difficult to celebrate.
This morning I told my boss, if I start crying, please be patient with me because I am not in the best mental state. I am worried. I'm very worried.
Favreau says the invasion has caused panic among locals as their future remains unclear. But there is one thing she wants them to know.
Keep it strong and don't give up. Like one day we have to get rid of this. One day we have to finish with this government.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Leaders all over the world are watching this all play out, wondering what it could mean for their countries as President Trump threatens the sovereignty of nations like Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, and Greenland. With more on the implications for Canada, here's Rachel Aiello.
Canadian oil stocks slid today as the energy market absorbed the potential implications of U.S. President Donald Trump tapping Venezuelan oil reserves.
What this says is Trump views oil as super important, which I think as Canadians we should recognize. We have a big oil industry and very big reserves. But it also says that we got to be very careful.
Ex-leader Nicolas Maduro's weekend capture and Trump musing of more military action is sparking international concern.
It's by no means all about the oil. It's about someone defying an American president. That's a pretty powerful example for those who are left.
Canada is no stranger to Trump's annexation threats, and Prime Minister Mark Carney's response so far has been careful. But the president's former national security advisor says he doesn't think this country is at risk.
I think any kind of move against Greenland or even more far-fetched against Canada would be the end of the NATO alliance. It would do incalculable damage, not just to the United States, but to the entire Western world.
Carney spoke to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado on Sunday, pledging Canada's support for a peaceful, negotiated, and Venezuelan-led transition process. Critics in this country say Trump's actions are exactly why Canada increasing its economic, military, and diplomatic independence is essential.
Internally, I think this boosts the obligation for Canada to get very serious, for Parliament to get very serious about diversifying our trade exports beyond the irrational administration of the United States.
Global Affairs is urging Canadians to avoid all travel to Venezuela, citing the unstable political situation. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's union pushback against the provincial government's return to office mandate. Leaders held a province-wide day of action today, but here in London, no employees showed up. As Rita Ismail reports, many say they're afraid to speak out for fear of losing their job.
Members of the Canadian Union of Public Employees staged a province-wide day of action today, protesting the Ontario government's decision to end hybrid work and bring employees back to the office. Workers were encouraged to spend their lunch breaks outside, calling for a return to flexible work arrangements. In London, nearly 150 Ontario Health at Home government employees who work at this location did not join the planned rally.
The rallies are happening across the province, but unfortunately, we're seeing where members are feeling reprisal. They're feeling fear of reprisal from the employer, from the government.
One Ontario Health at Home employee spoke to CTV off camera, saying the hybrid model works, both professionally and financially.
I find I'm more focused and more productive working from my home office, 100%, absolutely. I also save money, which is a huge thing right now because things cost so much more.
Starting today, Ontario government employees are expected to return to the office 5 days a week, despite objections from public sector unions.
Ontario Health at Home staff have been working hybrid schedules before the pandemic. There's no reason that the government is enforcing this, telling workers that they must be in office when this work has been being done for years prior to.
Premier Doug Ford made the decision back in August, saying collaboration and mentorship require people to be together. Ford doubled down today.
It's great to get everyone back to work like every other normal citizen. You know, you go out there and you show up 5 days a week. And there's arrangements. If they can't make it in, they're going to have to work within the bureaucracy, the OPS. They all have their managers. And we just look forward to getting everyone back.
But employees say there are a number of unaddressed issues.
There isn't enough room at that office for all employees to be in there. So they've had to make our cubicle space much smaller to work in, which is created a lot of angst amongst employees. Parking is a problem.
QP says it will continue to push back. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Testimony resumed today from the mother of a 15-month-old boy who died after a home daycare visit. The operator has been charged with manslaughter. With more from the London courthouse, here's Nick Paparella.
The defense recalled the mother of 15-month-old Nathaniel McClellan to resume with her testimony. It was the 9th day that Roseanne Vanderweel spent on the stand, testifying about the circumstances surrounding the death of her toddler, who died in October of 2015 after being at the home daycare of Megan Van Hoof in Strathroy. The mother broke down several times as she recalled picking up the lifeless body of her son and taking him to hospital, saying, "I wanted to be with him for every breath he was taking on this earth because he was dying." Questioned by the defense about meeting with doctors and police on her own, she said it wasn't until 9 months later that she learned more about her child's death. As a grieving parent, you flip-flop because you desperately want it to be an accident. She said doctors told her Nathaniel died from a non-accidental brain injury due to a lack of oxygen, a direct blow, fall, or seizure. She said, "I didn't know what to think. For 9 months, I always thought there's no way anyone would harm him." Again, she repeated, "I know that my child was fine when I dropped him off. The fatal blow had to have happened after that." Charged with manslaughter, the 46-year-old Van Hoof has pled not guilty. Earlier at the trial and after days of legal wrangling, Justice Michael Carnegie dismissed an abuse of process application brought forward by the defense, claiming the Crown was putting up roadblocks and impeding its case. 5 more weeks have been added to the trial, which was originally slated for 4 weeks back in the fall. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Municipal officials in central Elgin are warning residents to stay away from geese in Port Stanley. They say 3 sick birds have been euthanized in the past month, receiving reports of birds looking lethargic and 1 dead bird testing positive for avian flu. Officials say the euthanized birds will be sent to the Canadian Wildlife Health Cooperative. Officials in Lambton Shores are introducing a new accommodation tax, an added fee for anyone booking a hotel room or a short-term rental. With more on the plans for that money and the reaction from local tourism leaders, here's Brian Bicknell.
In the winter months, this beachside town quiets down until the return of sunny days. Chelsea Ford, who owns Grand Bend's Kiwi Motel, is hoping a new tax doesn't churn away sunseekers and other would-be guests.
The extra cost is going to land on the guest, and I don't think that actually helps tourism at all.
Lambton Shores has implemented a new municipal accommodation tax on short-term rentals. The 4% levy applies to hotels and motels, Airbnbs, bed and breakfasts, and any stays under 30 days. Lambton Shores Mayor Doug Cook says it's expected to generate between $400,000 and $500,000 per year. Half will go to the municipality, half will go to a new volunteer board to set up programming for off-season events.
We can offer more for the shoulder season, September to April. Perhaps we could find concert areas that would be coming to this area. There could be wine tours. There's all kinds of different events that are we could promote in the area.
Now in neighboring Sarnia and Point Edward, the accommodation tax has been in place for about 5 years now. It brings in roughly $300,000 per year in revenue. That money split evenly between Tourism Sarnia Lambton and the municipalities. Tourism Executive Director Mark Perrin says the extra revenue goes into promotion or projects that attract visitors.
No one likes the word tax, me included, obviously, but at the end of the day, for us, it's more about that competitive, being fair. If someone has it in, you kind of need it in your area as well.
Meantime, motel owner Chelsea Ford says she'd like to know exactly where the money will be spent before passing along a new expense to customers.
I'd love to see the actual transparency on that and where it actually is being used, but I'm doubtful that we'll actually see that.
In Grand Bend, Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
School board officials in southern Huron County say there could be more local childcare options soon. They say a company has expressed interest in opening before and after school childcare spaces at Exeter Elementary and Blue Water Coast Elementary in Hensel. A previous childcare operator closed their programs back in September, citing a lack of early childhood educators. That prompted a parent-led petition demanding the school board start its own childcare service. Board officials say they hope these new spaces will be available before the end of the school year. New rules are now in effect mandating carbon monoxide detectors on every floor of an Ontario home. That change went into effect on January 1st. The devices typically retail for between $35 and $90. Local fire departments report as many as 50 people in Canada die every year from carbon monoxide poisoning.
We've certainly had calls where entire families have gone to the hospital sick from CO, and they had no idea. It was a headache, it was not feeling well, and had they had the alarms, they would have known a lot sooner.
Fire officials say for now they plan on running an education campaign on the new rules, but eventually homeowners and landlords who don't comply could face fines. Still ahead, a new era for Mustangs football. Western's next coach calling his new gig a homecoming. Canada's main stock index rose to new highs today, helped by gains in the basic materials sector. The TSX up more than 300 points. In New York, the Dow spiked almost 600. The Nasdaq gained 160. The Canadian dollar was off almost a fifth of a cent. On commodities, gold surged more than $120 an ounce, while oil jumped $1 a barrel. Local firefighters are remembering a fallen teammate 25 years after the death of Dennis Redmond, who was killed in the line of duty. Brent Lale has more on Redmond's legacy in St. Thomas.
I remember that day like it was yesterday.
January 5th, 2001, in a blinding snowstorm, St. Thomas firefighters rushed inside 200 Chestnut Street, attempting to rescue senior citizens and people with disabilities.
The ability to put ladders up in the snow and bring people off balconies on ladders in the middle of the night, it's a challenge, but you know what, it's what we do.
Chief Dave Gregory was called in the night that the 102-unit apartment complex caught fire. With heavy winds, it took the life of 20-year fire captain Dennis Redmond and elderly tenant Kay Patrick, but crews saved dozens of residents.
It was 3 firemen it took to get me over the balcony and down the ladder.
4 days later, first responders from across North America came to St. Thomas to pay their respects.
The funeral procession was the coldest day I can ever remember, and walking from Williams Funeral Home to Memorial Arena with a sea of firefighters, EMS, and police behind us, and then crowds of people on the street kind of, recognizing and thanking us for what we do every day.
We're at the Dennis Redmond Memorial Station. It opened in 2006. We have a rock just over here dedicated to Dennis.
Each year on this date, St. Thomas Fire remembers the man they lost when he fell from the 3rd floor.
It's a very tough day for the department and the association, and it's important that we always remember the sacrifices made that day.
Since his death and an inquest, there have been some changes to the way departments respond and fight fires. Later this month, they plan to host a celebration.
We have some challenge coins that we had produced. We're going to have members of our department, their families, retirees that were there, and have a day here that remembers Captain Dennis Redmond.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. We are gearing up for an ugly, icy, potentially hazardous situation. The timing not great as freezing rain is being forecast with freezing rain warnings, special weather statements throughout southern Ontario proper. The impact moderate to high across pretty much all of southern Ontario. 1 to 5 millimeters of ice accretion. This taking place. Picture it from Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent towards London, Kitchener, Waterloo, that kind of progression as early as 6 a.m., reaching us in the great city of London by perhaps 8 or 9 a.m. Still, a lot of people walking to work and certainly driving about. We'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead to the next 24 hours and beyond coming up.
Welcome back. Gary Archibald is with me tonight. And Gary, as we head into Tuesday, it sounds like the big thing you're watching for, the possibility for freezing rain.
You're right about that. Good evening, Carlyle. Good evening, folks. Freezing rain, ice pellets. Might see some fog as well tomorrow morning. The worst case scenario, unfortunately, is it's developing and moving into position over southern Ontario for tomorrow morning's commute to work, dropping the kids off, daycare, school, etc. So the impact, moderate to high Tuesday morning. Not every area will see it, but I think the Midwest could see the worst of it. 1 to 5 millimeters of ice accretion and the mixing of freezing rain, freezing drizzle with rain itself, snow and ice pellets. Not good. Slippery surfaces. Later in the day, it will be warm enough that we will see mostly rain across the southern half of southern Ontario, if you will. The Midwestern tier towards the northeastern shores of Lake Huron, Grey Bruce, obviously the Bruce Peninsula could see some snow, 2 to 8 centimeters, in fact, cold enough for that. So today was mild, relatively speaking, a benign pattern, above seasonal. In London, saw some sunshine as well. Temperatures are going to take a nosedive, and they are going to be at the surface stable at around 0 or -1, -2 across that 401 corridor between Chatham, Kent, London, Kitchener, Waterloo, towards the GTA. And as the system eventually gets here and works its way from west to east across southern Ontario, it will bring snow, wrap in some rain, of course, and it's the freezing rain component that's in the middle of this area of low pressure that is the worst situation, obviously. Here's the rainfall spread. Now, there's going to be some overlap. Some of what the computer models are suggesting, simulating here, will be of the freezing variety, and some of it will be wet snow, which will likely not freeze on contact. It's really dependent on the surface temperature, really. Literally, the pavement, the grass, your lawn, the roads themselves. I mentioned the snowfall component, where it's cold enough in the upper mid levels of the atmosphere, and certainly at the surface, we could see that 2 to 5, 2 to 8 centimeters. The overnight temperatures across the board expected to be just below the freezing mark, if not down to about -7. Perfect setup for tomorrow morning because we're going to be hovering around 0 degrees, if not maybe even -1, and through parts of the morning. So here's the next 7 days. Freezing rain, freezing drizzle, concerns about travel if you don't need to be during that morning rush hour. Don't be if you can. And then we'll warm up, get some wet flakes and rain showers through to Friday, Saturday, still above the freezing mark before flurries Sunday into Monday next week. Cold enough to be more seasonal, but big transitions from freezing rain to flurries to rain, and those temperatures really taking a nosedive after getting very mild Thursday, Friday, and even for Saturday for some across the region.
Thanks very much, Gary. The World Juniors wrapped up tonight with Canada missing the gold medal game for a third straight year. Instead, they took on Finland this afternoon for the bronze medal.
Now bring it back out as Hage. Hage works in with O'Reilly through to the cross. O'Reilly backhand shot scores!
That's London Knights captain Sam O'Reilly opening the scoring early in the first period for Canada. It was his first of 2 goals, helping the Canadians beat Finland 6-3, clinching a third-place finish. Sweden ended up winning the gold medal tonight with a win over Czechia. The Western Mustangs have announced their next football coach, hiring 3-time U Sports Coach of the Year and former Western quarterback Michael Fauns away from rivals Laurier.
Welcome home.
Yeah, no, it is a homecoming, and I'm mixed with emotions. Obviously, very proud and happy with the 13 years I had at Laurier, and feel for those coaches and players, but super excited to be back at Western, a place I obviously played for 5 years, love my time here, so it truly is a homecoming.
What's the main decision that brought you home?
I think it is just overall the family support, right? My wife Stacy and I met here in London at Western. Her family's here, and then then there's always that excitement of coming home to where you played. As much as I love my time over there at Laurier, there's something special that drew me here. And obviously being able to take over for a legend like Coach Marshall is special.
And Greg will stay on for a little bit to help you through the transition?
Yeah, that's what's nice about it, is it's a smooth transition. Coach Marshall, although many people obviously tie me to Western, I was never a coach here. So there's a lot for me to learn. I was on the playing side of things here, so the ins and outs of the operation and how the programs run and all of these things, obviously I'm going to put my stamp on it, but it'll be great having Coach Marshall here to make all these introductions in the first weeks and months.
Finally tonight, conditions are just right in the nation's capital on the country's largest outdoor rink. The entire length of the Rideau Canal skateway is open, which in recent years has not been guaranteed. Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
When the sound of skates carving into the ice echo through downtown, you know Ottawa has hit its stride.
It's beautiful. It's a magnificent thing. But it's the best thing on earth.
Every season, the Rideau Canal Skateway draws more than 1 million visitors. Today, skaters like Andrei Pustarenko and his kids had extra ice to play on. The full 7.8 kilometers is now skatable 5 days after the canal partially opened.
It's super nice. I feel like the ice is really good. Yeah, and we're just enjoying ourselves. Been skating for like 30 minutes that way. Now we're going back, searching maybe for some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate and beaver tails are a must after a long, chilly skate. Going end to end can take anywhere from 30 minutes to over an hour.
It was awesome. I've been out 3 times, but this is the first time to have done the whole thing, and one of the highlights of the winter here in Ottawa.
A highlight skaters have been enjoying since the skateway first opened in 1971. Some out today on their lunch break.
I thought it was a good opportunity to get out. It's going to get warm later this week. Got to do it now.
That do-it-now attitude has become increasingly important. Warmer winters have made the skating seasons less predictable. Last year, the canal was open for 52 days, but 2 years ago, it was only open for 10 days, and 3 years ago, it never opened at all. A core winter memory residents and visitors cherish now more than ever.
This is my first time doing it. I'm from Montreal, and I cannot wait to do the full length because apparently it's the most Canadian thing you could do.
Last year, the canal was open for 52 days, but the season didn't start until January 11th. This year, it opened on New Year's Eve, and skaters are hoping this season will be fantastic and even longer than the last. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.